Okay. Let's recap a bit, shall we?
He's at McCaroll Ranch. It's not too far from here. That's where we left him, at least.
The ranch was nice too, before the blood.
This isn't the ranch.
AJ!
Remember how scared you were before you charged into that mess at McCaroll Ranch? You survived that, didn't you?
That was different. I was alone.
I know.
No doubt, besides the fate of every single character in episode 4, this is probably the biggest mystery that we will be getting an answer to in the final season's last episode, Take Us Back. If you were unaware, this was something that was literally in A New Frontier, was the basis of the time skip between 3 and 4, Clementine's journey to go find AJ after the end of the events of A New Frontier, where Dr. Lingard had sent AJ to this McCaroll Ranch, and where Clementine said at the end of A New Frontier, "I'm going to find you, AJ." And it was one of the biggest mysteries we were going to be getting in this season, and we had gotten, really, in the first couple episodes, not really that much information. All we knew, AJ mentioned episode 1, there was blood at the ranch. Episode 2, we had Clementine with the nightmare. And in episode 3, we had Lee saying, "You charged into that mess at the McCaroll Ranch." So we knew something bad happened here, something emotional, something traumatizing, something that changed AJ, something that Clementine still has nightmares about to this day. What will that be? So, we're going to talk about the ranch, what I think they're going to do, what I think it's going to be a flashback, is it going to be dialogue, is it going to be maybe a in-depth discussion of sorts, or maybe another kind of dream. So, if you guys are ready, make sure you smack a like, hit that sub, and hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get straight into it. So firstly, let's discuss the confirmation. Yes, it is confirmed that in episode 4, we will get an explanation behind the ranch. In this, the plan has, and Kent Muddle had said this, the creative director, nope, the plan was always to wait until episode 4 meeting, and just provide enough crumbs in earlier episodes to keep the mystery going. And this person asked, is the reason that we didn't get an explanation of the ranch in 401, 402, or 432 due to the fact that you guys were still trying to figure out how to explain what went down. But it was always the plan that we were going to get this explanation in the final episode of Clementine's journey, meaning something must be connected that happens in episode 4 with this ranch. There must be something traumatic that will happen where this, flashback, dream, whatever you want to call it's going to happen. So let's go into what we've gotten. Now, let's talk about what I think is going to happen. There's a couple possibilities of what this explanation is going to be. So first, let's discuss when I think this explanation, flashback, dream, whatever you want to call it's going to be. So it's pretty obvious it's most likely going to be, in my opinion, in the beginning of the episode. It makes sense because of the explosion, and it looks like Clementine, when she gets knocked back after the bomb explodes, she hits her head on the little deck there, the wall of the boat, and I don't think she's going to be conscious. I don't think a lot of people are going to be conscious after this happens. And the first achievement, again, is called Red Water, hinting there's going to be a lot of blood. Could this be hinting at maybe, potentially even, the McCaroll Ranch and the blood that happened there? I think it's very likely that we could get that explanation there, maybe, and that would make sense in a flashback or a dream while she's knocked out. Now, also, there's another possibility where it could be sometime in the middle of the episode. Maybe, for example, someone's injured, someone's missing. Maybe Clementine gets knocked out in a fight, and it pops up again in her head about the ranch. Or maybe there will be a discussion somewhere near the middle or the end. I don't think we're going to get this ranch explanation at the end, so it's most likely beginning / middle-ish of the episode where we're going to get it, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of that down below. Now, there's a couple possibilities of what we are going to get. The first possibility is a flashback, dream, whatever you want to call it, where we will actually get footage, we will get new dialogue, we will get to see old Clementine in her red jacket, we'll get to see baby AJ, we'll get to see what the hell went down with this blood, gunshots, dead horses, charging them at McCaroll Ranch by herself, as Lee had said, and we'll get to see it actually happen, and we'll get a full explanation. This, in my opinion, is the best way they can do it, because we'll get to visually see it, and, seeing is always the best thing. I would love to just, visually, like, dialogue talking about it. I don't really like that, man. We get to see this happen and really get to understand why AJ may be a little effed up in the head as he is, and why Clementine has nightmares, and why this is really so connected with how this last episode might go, with, especially with how their characters have changed a little bit. I would love to see it. And this also connects with Richmond, Javier. I talked about them in the last video I did. I think maybe we can get some connection to Richmond. Why Clementine did not go back to Richmond. Her intention, potentially, determinedly, could be to go back to Richmond, to go back to Javier and play baseball with AJ. So what was the reason that after she went to this ranch, why did she not come back? Was it because of this battle? And who was the enemy at this ranch? Was it the Delta? Was it another community? Was it walkers? Was it when Clementine arrived? Because Lee had said, you walked into that mess at the McCaroll Ranch. Does that hint that we are going to, when Clementine arrives, there's either a walker attack, walkers everywhere, or there's an enemy attacking at some point? Because you can hear gunshots. So you can probably see maybe the McCaroll Ranch people fighting off walkers, or they're fighting off another community. So, yeah, it's going to be very intense, especially if we get a flashback. I think it's going to personally be a flashback. I think this will be the episode 4 flashback. I could be wrong, though. I'd also like to see another Lee one, but that's what I think it's probably going to be. Because, again, I think this is such an important thing. I think they need to show it visually. Now, another possibility is with dialogue. And I don't like this option, but it is a possibility. But it would be a long, in-depth talk. Maybe even where they would show maybe kind of like a visual of it. Maybe for example, Clementine would be talking about, maybe they show a couple seconds of what happened. Or maybe they'll just go through an overview of, everything that went down with it. I think this option is just not very likely and possible, but again, it is a possibility. Or another possibility is where it's going to be maybe kind of like a nightmare of sorts. Maybe, Clementine gets bitten or something, and, she has a nightmare. I don't think that's going to either be possible. I think it's just most likely going to be a flashback / dream. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think of that down below in the comments. And before I end off the video, there was all the PAX footage. Remember from PAX, was it PAX East, I think? From Megami. Remember I talked about this a couple months ago, why Clementine's look changed. I believe we are going to get red coat Clementine back in this. And there was old footage, remember, that showed red coat Clementine. And it kind of showed at the end of the footage, it showed a building in the background that looked like the ranch. And I thought, originally, I think on the story, I think they were supposed to be at the ranch. And they kind of scrapped a lot of things with the story and changed a lot of things up. So I think this concept art image that you see in this, little, gameplay footage here is probably going to be what, a general consensus look of it. And also in the original key art, Clementine and AJ, looks like there's a building in the background. Is that potentially the ranch? Because the ranch was, again, originally supposed to be the main part of this story. It was supposed to be where Clementine and AJ were going to be going. So, now, what do I think is going to happen? What did I think happened? Now, we obviously can tell based on what happened with AJ, his character, his psyche, something bad really happened to him, but Clementine especially, with, the nightmares she's having, she seems really traumatized by what happened. Now, there's a couple possibilities of what we're going to discuss here. The first possibility is where she had to kill a bunch of people, humans. For example, they would not let her take AJ back. and she felt adamantly about this, and she went on a killing spree and killed them all. Or, for example, they thought maybe she was an enemy. Maybe Clementine made some kind of mistake. Maybe, unleashed a bunch of walkers, and they blamed her for it, and she had to kill a bunch of people, and she feels traumatized about it. Second of all, maybe where AJ, I don't know how old AJ, I mean, assuming he's still a baby here. Maybe where Clementine had to kill a bunch of people in front of AJ, and AJ saw it, and she feels really traumatized about having to show AJ all that violence. Or maybe AJ had some kind of violent decision. Or maybe there is a returning character potentially in this McCaroll Ranch, and Clementine maybe kills them. Could be. I don't think that's going to be happening, but you never know. And probably the fourth is where she's been abused or, mistreated in this ranch. Like, I'm not gonna say what I really want to say, but you guys get what I'm kind of saying. There's people that think she could have been, abused at this ranch, like something bad, really bad happened to her that I don't really want to discuss completely, but it's a possibility. I personally think it's probably going to be where Clementine had to kill a bunch of walkers and humans to get to AJ. But again, she's all by herself here, as Leah said. You went into that mess all alone at the McCaroll Ranch. So, lots going to go down here, guys. Gunshots, dead horses, explosion, fire, flames. Clementine by herself, baby AJ crying. There's a lot that this should be at least a 10 or 15 minute flashback if it's going to be, visual. Because, again, the lead one was about 7 minutes, and the other ranch one was about, or the other, McCaroll Ranch kind of Nightmare in episode 2 was kind of like 3 or 4 minutes. I want this to be 10, 15 plus minutes. I think they need to do an in-depth one. Maybe they don't need to show every single detail, but I need at least a, a good enough view of it to say, hey, this is really what went down. So, I think it's going to be a flashback. There's going to be a lot of deaths with this. Clementine's going to kill a bunch of people. She's traumatized about it. And she can't really, get past the fact that she had to kill a bunch of people. And it's going to be emotional. No doubt. It's probably going to connect with why AJ's, the way he's been. So, and hopefully maybe we'll get some connection with Richmond or Season 3 in it. So, I want to thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you smack a like, hit that sub. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen at the ranch. When do you think it's going to be? Again, I think it's going to be probably at the beginning of the episode, and it's a flashback. So let me know what you guys think is going to happen. Is it going to be flashback, dialogue, etc.? And when is it going to be in the episode? So I want to catch y'all in the next one again, and peace.